Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mayor Lisa Gilmore. Thank you for joining me for my very first Mayor at Noon series on Facebook Live. This is an opportunity for you to hear how the City of Santa Clara is responding to the COVID-19 pandemic, as well as hear stories from our community members about how they navigate through this unprecedented situation. And I also want to hear from you, so make sure to make comments and ask questions during today's Mayor at Noon. I'll try to answer as many questions as possible towards the end of our session today. Also, I have some company with me today. I am so honored for my very first Mayor at Live to have our Chief Emergency Services Officer, another Lisa Schoenthal. She's here today, and as you can see, we're socially distanced, right, Lisa? More than our 6 feet. We'll hear from Lisa in just a little bit. And behind the scenes, we have Kendra Davis. You can't see her, but I assure you she's back there from our city manager's office, who will help get your questions answered at the end of our segment. But first, I'd like to talk about some of the city's COVID-19 relief programs that have been created for our residents and businesses impacted by the pandemic personally and financially. Our city council has made it a priority to help our community with safety, health, and well-being through many of the programs that with our city staff we have created. And I know many of you have received the Santa Clara Inside program that has been mailed directly to your house. There is an insert in the Santa Clara Inside program that highlights and gives a little bit of information on each of these programs I'm going to talk about. And also, to get more information, it'll tell you where you can contact the city. So if you don't have this and you haven't received this, just contact City Hall and we'll make sure you get a copy of it. So again, it's our council priority to make sure we're providing these services to the community. So if we can start, I'd like to talk a little bit about each program. The first is our rental assistance available for Santa Clarans. Emergency rental assistance program, we just put some additional monies in there to help people and renters based on income levels to help you pay your rent. So make sure and check that program out. We have financial assistance for our small businesses and nonprofits. The city has provided grants, not loans, but grants, to a couple of hundred small businesses now, and we're now going to the next round of small businesses. We've also received some additional funding. Our small businesses have taken a huge hit in our community, and we're trying to do what we can to keep them afloat through these difficult times. We have our Help Your Neighbors with Their Utility Bills. We have some very generous Santa Clarans who have donated to our Help Your Neighbor program, and we're using those funds to help people that are really having a difficult time paying their utility bills. So thank you for the Santa Clarans who have donated. We have our COVID relief, electric relief program. Silicon Valley Power, owned by our city, is offering a temporary relief program to provide a 25% discount for City of Santa Clara residents on municipal electric utilities. So please check that program out if you're having a difficult time paying your utility bill. Santa Clara supports local restaurants. We're going to talk about small businesses next week, but Santa Clara has done not only the grant program for small businesses, but we capped the service fees for delivery apps to 15%, because some of the delivery applications and companies have been really charging a lot of money to our restaurants for delivery. We're trying to cap those fees down to 15%, and the council took that action, and we're very, very proud of that. Senior meals to go. We found when this pandemic started, and I can't believe it was 6 months ago, we found out that the seniors who were being fed during the weekdays were not being fed and going hungry on the weekends. So our staff and our council directed it through our staff. We worked out providing weekend breakfast and lunch meals for our seniors to either be picked up at the senior center or be delivered to those seniors who were not able to pick up their meals at the senior center. And we continue with that program. We don't want our seniors going hungry. So if you know a senior that needs meals, please call our senior center so that we can put them on the list. Next, we have our residential water and sewer rate assistance program. We can help with sewer bills up to 25% discount. So again, if you're needing help through because of the COVID pandemic and having a hard time paying your bills, please contact our water and sewer department. Next, an exciting program we have is small business energy efficiency grants. We're also trying to help our small businesses in other ways by showing them how they can make their businesses more energy efficient. And I believe these grants, again, grants, not loans, are up to, I think, $10,000 for small businesses. You can improve your lighting, your windows, all kinds of things. So please contact Silicon Valley Power for those small business grants. We have back to school resources. I know I have a high schooler at home who's on distance learning. Many of you have even younger children. It's so difficult, and it's so challenging that the city is offering resources for parents and students as they transition through this distance learning, kindergarten through 12th grade. Our police department also provides helpful safety tips for parents to make sure the transition is easier for our children. Also, an exciting credit that I think most of our, if not all of our residents will appreciate. The City Council voted to add additional funds to credit your garbage rate bills. So there will be no increase in garbage rate bills until January of next year, and we'll look at that program at that time again. So you're going to see a credit on your utility bill for August, September, October. You're going to get a one-time credit on these bills. So those are just a few of the programs, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention two other programs that we that the Santa Clara, the City Hall here, Santa Clara, that we offered. One was we decided, just like the seniors, our children in our community were getting their school lunches and breakfasts during the week, but on the weekends, they were not getting their food. So we put together very quickly, we didn't want to wait, we quickly put together a program for weekend meals for our children, and in many cases, their families as well. So we did that for many, many months, and now the district has taken that over. It's very important for us in the community that no one goes hungry, that we help our families, our children, and our seniors. And then, let's see, I had one more program. Oh, can't remember that one. But let me tell you that we have more information, again, in the pullout from Santa Clara Inside, and hopefully you will you look at those and get the help if you need the help. I did remember the last one. This is the beauty of live television. We did provide, through Silicon Valley Power, a $30 credit on everyone's electric utility bill this past month or the month before. Again, we want to make sure we can do whatever we can to make your life a little bit easier during this pandemic. So now, I want to, again, talk about my special guest here today, Lisa Schoenthal. And as I mentioned earlier, Lisa serves as the city's Chief Emergency Services Officer and has been helping the city navigate this time through this public health emergency. We in the city of Santa Clara in the past several years, and I think it started with our Super Bowl when we really upped our and renovated our Emergency Services Operations Center, and we really put in all the resources necessary, top of the line resources for our community to keep us safe through emergencies. Now, we always thought about earthquakes or some kind of maybe other issue. We have smoke, wildfire, we have all kinds of issues, and I know we're prepared. So Lisa, why don't you tell us about how this is different through this pandemic and what you've learned so far since we've been in this for 6 months. If you can take a breath for a minute and tell us how this is different from an earthquake or another type of emergency.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you very much for inviting me, Mayor. As you know, our Emergency Operations Center staff has trained, drilled, and exercised for all types of emergencies, including a pandemic. However, we had not practiced or exercised the social distancing requirements we've had to follow here, or the increased technology we've needed to have so many of our staff working remotely. We usually have over 50 people working in our Emergency Operations Center, and we had to quickly adapt to having no more than 10 at least 6 feet apart and having the majority of our staff working remotely with increased technology.
Well, you've done an amazing job for even with your socially distanced staff and everything. You do come to our council meetings every Tuesday when we have a council meeting and give us an update with the city manager. And I found that our residents find that really helpful because they want to know everything changes so quickly and you have kept up to date. And let's remind everyone, Lisa, do we make the health orders in Santa Clara or is it the county? Because you get Santa Clara City, Santa Clara County. Tell us, we don't make the orders. So tell us about, and I know there's mass confusion about that, and you get this question all the time.
We do not make the orders. We follow the public health orders, both the county's orders and the state's orders, just like everybody else. We do closely monitor all of that. But we are not the author of these orders.
Okay. So if it's okay with you, I know that I receive a lot of questions from the community as well as my fellow council members. And I just had 3 or 4 questions that I want to ask you that I think might be of general interest in the community right now. And I know there's dozens and we'll probably get them online, some questions. But the first question I had is about the future of indoor church services or spiritual services. We have large faith-based organizations in Santa Clara. We have churches, mosques, we have everything here. And we're a very diverse city, especially religion-wise. So everyone is suffering, and this is a time when people really need their faith. So can you give us an idea of what's happening with the indoor services?
Right. We have not heard anything from Santa Clara County Public Health Officer Dr. Sarah Cody that would indicate that she will be allowing indoor church services anytime soon. She is very concerned about the increased risk of indoor church services. Indoor gatherings altogether are prohibited right now by the county and by the state, as a matter of fact, indoor gatherings in general. But Dr. Cody has talked about her concern about the increase of respiratory droplets when people have group recitation, when people sing, and that's why, for now, outdoor worship services are only allowed. All those services need to be outdoors.
And we do have some outdoor services in Santa Clara, don't we, that are happening right now? And many are happening online too, the services. And people want to get back to at least a sense of normalcy. So we'll wait to hear that. That is a question I get a lot. Another is, and I got this in my own neighborhood several times, there are residents that have witnessed throughout Santa Clara large gatherings, either in homes through events or regular, Thursday night, Friday night gatherings, or large gatherings at the parks, for instance. Some wearing masks, some's not wearing masks. So if one witnesses that, I know people are doing it in their own homes or sometimes on outside in property. What should you do? I don't know who to even refer people to and who enforces these types of things, because a lot of times at City Hall we say, call the police because this is happening. But tell us, who would we complain to and who's the proper authority?
Okay, well, if the community has a complaint about any violation of the county health orders, they can go to scc-covidconcerns.org. So this is the county website where people can file complaints. It's also an easy way to remember how to access the county public health order information, frequently asked questions, et cetera. So it's scc-covidconcerns.org.
Is there a certain number that you can have in your home? Is there, I've heard 25 or 20. No, there is no.
Indoor gatherings are prohibited. And again, we did not write this directive.
Right.
Indoor gatherings are prohibited, obviously with the exception of people who live within your own household. So outdoor gatherings are limited to a maximum of 60 people as long as the social distancing requirements can be met.
Okay, so here's another question I get all the time, and again, we're going to talk about small businesses next week, but do you know when the county may allow any indoor dining? And I'll tell you, the counties surrounding us are allowing a certain amount of indoor dining, and Santa Clara County is not.
Right.
And I know our public, our businesses, especially our restaurants, some of them are able to have outdoor dining, but as we get closer to the winter time, outdoor dining might not be an option. So any thoughts or discussions with the county in the horizon, what do we see for the indoor dining?
I can offer, again, that I have not heard Health Officer Dr. Sarah Cody say anything to indicate that indoor dining would be allowed anytime soon. She is very concerned about the increased risk about dining indoors because people have to remove their face coverings. You know, you can't obviously eat with a face covering on. And the CDC, in fact, this month issued information about the number of positive cases in the country. For a number of folks, they had doubled those that had eaten indoors. I'm trying to remember the exact language, but there was definitely an increased risk for people who had tested positive. They had double the chances of testing positive if they had eaten in a restaurant within the previous 14 days. Something to that effect. I don't think I'm getting it verbatim. But essentially, increased risk of dining indoors. It's very difficult. I am doing outdoor dining and trying to support businesses. The media reports that there's an all-time increase in heaters, that restaurants are just buying as many outdoor heaters as they can.
Right.
As the weather gets cold.
Right.
People will hopefully still be able to have outdoor dining, but it's really tough for our restaurants.
And I think it's important that you really said it, that we need to support our restaurants either by taking food to go, ordering,
Right.
online, or eating outdoors, whatever we can do, because many of them are just trying to hold on. And well, they're looking for some ray of hope in the future that they're going to be able to, in the near future, at least have some kind of a dining experience. So, okay, thanks. Now, here's one I've gotten just recently. Halloween. What's happening for Halloween this year? Halloween is a big event in the city of Santa Clara for children, for parents, for everyone. For me, I buy candy and eat half of it. So it's really important. What's going to happen this year for Halloween?
All right, we are waiting with bated breath. On Wednesday, the county confirmed that the local health officers, our health officer, Dr. Cody, and our neighboring health officers in neighboring counties in the region are working on joint Halloween guidance so that we can have a regional approach to this and each county would be acting uniformly. So we're hoping we're going to see that soon.
I think that would be important because if Santa Clara County doesn't offer, Halloween, then people will go all over the place.
Exactly.
So that makes a lot of sense. So with all of these things that are happening, what's the best way for the community to get their questions answered? And the reason I ask that is that we always take them in City Hall. I know I take a lot of questions. I try to divert them to the right so that they can get their answers. I know other council members do as well. But if you want a direct answer to a question, and some of the questions they're not so straightforward, but what's the best and fastest way to get answers to the questions that you have?
Really, that scccovidconcerns.org offers a number of options for the community to get their questions answered, including information for businesses. There's a business call center that can be contacted. That's Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. But people can pose questions online. There's frequently asked questions. There's a section called What You Need to Know for more nuanced types of questions, but scccovidconcerns.org.
Okay, very good, thank you. So there's another place you can get your questions answered, and that's here at Mayor at Noon Live. So I know that with the time that we have remaining, just checking to see if we have any questions from Facebook. We do? So, okay. We have a question here from Art. What are they going to do to make up for the COVID-19 programs with taxes or creative financing of taxes already collected? Okay, let me read that one again. Art, what are they going to do to make up for with taxes or creative financing or taxes already collected? I'll tell you that the financing of some of these programs that we have outlined here in the city of Santa Clara that we are providing for business grants and nonprofits. Some have come from donations, others have come from grants. We just won a very large suit that gave us $5 million into our City of Santa Clara General Fund, which we used for our rental assistance program, our small business program, some traffic improvements in the city. So we're doing what we can to not use our general fund money, but in some cases, we had to use it, for instance, to start our food program. We used our general fund money to start food program, but then we received donations from very generous businesses in the city like Intel and Roche, and through Mission City Community Fund, and through our Firefighter Foundation, we have gotten a lot of volunteer work from people to do that. So we're trying to do what we can to get grants, donations, and help from the community at large. Thank you for that question, Art. Okay, we have a question from Linda. What is the process to donate to help to those who need help with their utility bill? So we have, thank you for that question, Linda. It's a Help Your Neighbor program. So we have a Help Your Neighbor program through our city. We've had it used to be called Give a Little, Help a Lot. That was the name of the program. So now we changed it to Help Your Neighbor. And we have that through our santaclaraca.gov/COVID-19 donations. And so you can find that on our website. If not, just contact the mayor's office and I'll give you this information. But it is in the utility bill. And we had some very generous residents that instead of taking the $30 credit for their utility bill, they donated it back to the city to help those who needed help on their utility bills. And let me tell you, just that credit and the help with the utility bills really, really helps a lot of people who are living many times, month to month. They have lost their paychecks because they've lost their job. Especially devastated has been the travel industry, hotel workers, hospitality workers. There's just so many people in need. So I know we have a lot of generous Santa Clarans, so it's a Help Your Neighbor Fund here in the city. Okay, so we have a question from Mary. What is being done about the increased number of homelessness RVs in the city? Since Mountain View banned RVs on city streets, we've seen an increase. Thank you for that question, Mary. That is very, very timely, and I know I've been working with Councilmember Kathy Watanabe in District 1 on Hope Drive. There's been an overabundance of RVs and people living overnight. And so we are looking at helping with that situation in a fair but compassionate way. We had just had RVs parked around our senior center in Santa Clara, and we have some in Councilmember O'Neill's district as well around Santa Clara High School. So they're popping up because people don't have anywhere to go. This is one reason we just put several million into our emergency rental housing assistance fund. So the city is trying to help those in need of rental assistance and housing assistance. But again, we're trying to deal with the issues of RVs on the streets, especially with nuisances and trash and restroom issues and other things that are associated with that. We're working on that very closely right now. But again, in a swift but compassionate way, because we understand where people are, how people are suffering, especially when they have no place to live. I'm waiting for a question for you, Lisa.
Hey, I'm getting off easy today. They're all for you.
Oh, that's all the Facebook questions right now that we have. All right, I think we got off a little bit easier today, so till next week, right? Is there any closing statements you'd like to make, Lisa? Because I really do appreciate the fact that you're here and you have become our, we have very, very important people in our city, but you have become the person that we really, really look to for guidance for everything that we do. I know you've been so helpful in helping, and I think at some point I'm going to have the Vanguards come to talk about their outdoor bingo and some of the other issues. We've had to get so creative. And what I love about you is that you try to help us find ways to help our community. So I think that we are fortunate to have you and what you've done, but I want to give you a moment to make any closing statements.
Well, thank you so much, Mayor, for your kind words. I have to emphasize that this is very much a team effort with the city's response, very much a team effort. I would say in closing, and I know I quote Dr. Cody a lot, but it really is the county's orders that we're following. She just said on Tuesday that we are not to let our guard down. Our case numbers have been trending down. However, they were also trending down before we had the big surge after the 4th of July. So can't let our guard down, and I encourage the community to take advantage of the free COVID testing. And we have free testing at the Central Park Library, again, next Wednesday, September 30th. It's always from 9:30 to 3. The following Monday, October 5th, the following Wednesday, October 14th. And I just got tested for the second time the day before yesterday. I got my results last night.
Well, and they were?
They were negative.
Oh, good. We'll let you stay then. Okay, you can stay here.
You don't need to worry.
You should have led with that. Come on.
I thought you'd get a kick out of that. No need to worry. But it is important for people to continue to get tested, because we know that the CDC says 40% of transmission of COVID is asymptomatic, and our testing site at Central Park Library is for people who are not symptomatic.
Right. So I was tested when we had it available at the Northside Library. And I'll tell you, I didn't have any symptoms, but I was a little afraid to go in there because I'd heard such horror stories about, the going to your brain and other things. And I'll tell you, it didn't hurt. It was easy, fast. I got my results negative within 48 hours. So I really thank you for that. I encourage our residents to get to Central Park to get tested. It's free and easy. So that's all the time we have for today at our first Mayor at Noon. But I'll be back here on Facebook Live next Friday afternoon with an update on how the pandemic is affecting our small businesses. And I know that's been very, very challenging here in Santa Clara. So as you know, Santa Clara has it covered, and we will get through this pandemic together. Thank you so much to Lisa for joining me, and thank you all out there in Facebook land for joining me as well. Have a great day.